castaways. We are castaways. Ahoy there, ahoy, we are castaways. Hi there, I am Lisa, the ukulele fool, foolishly believing that a ukulele is an appropriate instrument for all ages. If you are new here, I'd like to extend a special welcome to you. I am a music educator. I started teaching in 1983. The first half of my career was teaching general music education, and then I started teaching educators or future educators how to teach at the university level, and I still teach at the university level today, and I also focus on adult education. So I have broken down this song in lots of detail like I do in my other tutorials with lots of visuals as well. That's what I'm known for here on YouTube. So I hope that my teaching will help you on your ukulele journey. So if you find this style of instruction helpful, please help this channel to grow. Consider subscribing to my channel, giving it a thumbs up, ringing the notification bell, and you could also sponsor me on Patreon, because without my patrons, I wouldn't be doing this like I am today. Speaking of patrons, my patron Paul suggested this song. Thank you so much. He's much younger than I am, and I probably would never run across this song if it weren't for him, so thanks. I have timestamps down below so you can find the section that's going to work for you. This is for your ukulele journey, and I know that all the stuff I give might not be all y'all what y'all need for everything. So anyway, we're going to go over the chords first thing. This song has lots of chords. We will go over them. I will also go over some of the tricky chord transitions and help simplify that for you. And because of my extensive knowledge of music, I can tell you which chords you can like eliminate or simplify. I'll give you some things, and I'll also give you a little spice too if you want it. This is an intermediate level lesson. I have two strumming, well actually one's a strumming and one's a plucking suggestion. The strumming is the island strum. I'll show you a little bit how that fits in, and then I'll spend a lot of time on this Bossa Nova pattern that I have for you. I'll give a quick little history nerd section because I'm a history nerd. And then I have two play-alongs because this is such a short song. I'll do one with the island strum, and then I'll do another one with the Bossa Nova pattern. So let's dive in. Castaways here. Let's learn this song. This is a more intermediate lesson, so I'm going to assume that you know the F chord, the C chord, the C7 chord. Look, ma, no fingers, the A7 chord, and the G7 chord. There are three varieties of D. You have D, and I'm playing it here traditional, but you know, there are other ways to play D than this, and I will link that both above and below. There is a D7, and you can do this D7, but you know, there's also the easy D7, and it's perfectly legit to use this D7 in this particular song. There is also a D minor 7. But you know what? You do not have to add that pinky if you don't want to. If you just want to do a regular D minor in this piece, not a problem whatsoever. And there is also an E7. So those are the chords that I think you're familiar with. Right off the bat, we're using an F7. So it's an F, and we're going to add our ring finger 3rd fret on the C string. We just do that in the introduction, and if you don't feel like doing it, well, then don't. You don't have to. I just threw it in for some spice. You're going to need a G minor. A G minor looks like F, but moved over to the 1st string. So you F, you move these over, and then you need your 3rd fret E string because this note is a G. So G minor. There's also a G minor 7. So like a B flat chord, you're going to need to pinch these two with your index finger and then middle finger on the C string on the 2nd fret. G minor 7. There's several versions of a C. There is a C major, 2nd fret on the A string. There is a C minor, which I play as a bard. It would be possible to play it like a D, like that. There is also an A sharp major 7. So think of like your E minor chord. Move your E minor chord up to the 1st fret. Move it over in shape so it starts on now on your E string, C string, G string. Isn't that a cool sound? I just really like that. Let's talk about chord transitions. An easy chord transition, the F to an F7, you're simply adding and then subtracting a finger as we do it in the introduction. There is also a D to G minor. So if you're playing D the traditional way, you're going to keep this finger and pivot so that this finger goes over here and then your ring finger catches the 3rd fret of the E string. So watch that again from the D. You just keep that middle finger there and move these two. So that's a pretty cool transition. You have to do a lot of the G minor 7 to C. The thing that I would recommend is going back and forth is to employ hovering. So don't let these fingers go flying. Don't let this finger go flying. Keep everything tucked in nice and close to your fretboard so you're not wasting any motion. We have to go from a D minor 7 to a G7. And whether you decide to drop that 7 or not, these are the 2 fingers that are going to have to move over here. From there, we are going to the C major 7. So that's simply take those fingers off. Then here's where it starts to get tricky. C minor. From here, I take my ring finger and I use it to bar the 3rd fret on the C, E, and A string. If this finger is not strong enough for you, you can use your index finger. It just means you're going to have to jump around some more. Let me show you. You're on your C major 7. You have to go to C minor, and then you have to go to F. If you're doing the C major 7 because you're from G7, your finger's already there. If you use your 3rd finger, these fingers are ready to go. If you use this finger, then you're going to have to take a pretty big jump, or if you're doing the D, fingering on that C minor 7, it can all be done, but for economy of motion, that is the smoothest transition that works for me. We are going to have to go to an F to that A sharp major. So just remember to keep that index finger in the same place. And then this one hops down to the C string, and then you have to reach over and catch your G string like that. Another tricky transition is from the D minor 7 to the E7. So this would be a good case for just not worrying about the pinky and just doing this, because then these 2 fingers have to hop over and this finger's got to make that journey from the E string to the G string. That would take, I would recommend, if that's a challenge for you, just spend some time on it. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself, daily practice of 3 to 5 minutes every day. And in a week and a half, you'll be a lot better at it. Just as a quick tip, you're going from an A minor 7, look ma, no fingers, to a D7. You can make that D7 easier for yourself. First of all, you could play the cheater D7, but also just keep your brain active. A minor 7, don't let those fingers sleep. Have them hovering, getting ready. Because that thinking ahead is really, it's a musician's skill. You can do this song with just an island strum. Castaways, we are castaways. Ahoy there, ahoy, we are castaways. See, it works, and this might be a really great way to start in with the chords, get those chords learned, get singing tied up with it before you move on to more complicated strumming. Instead of strumming for the Bossa Nova pattern for this song, I have changed it to what I call 3 versus C. My thumb is always going to be on my G string, my index finger is on the C, middle finger is on the E, and ring finger is on the A. And my thumb does a downward motion, and these two, it's kind of like a pluck and pull. They pluck up, they pull up on the string, so it feels like kind of a pinching action. Down, and these two go up. The index finger does a single up on the C string. So you have 3 versus C. Kinda. So I would recommend, if this is new to you, just practice doing that back and forth. Do it for several days until it just becomes second nature. Because the rhythm is what's going to give us that bossa nova feeling. So much of the dance music that's in South America, throughout the Caribbean, and in Africa is never, it wasn't designed to be notated. So let's learn this in an auditory tradition. I'm going to give you some words: step, ball change, and step, ball change, and step, ball change, and step, ball change, and when you put it together, in fact, put a beat on your body: step, ball change, and step, ball change, and step, ball change, and step, ball change, and try that. We'll have a drill with this just to help you, where I'll say it and play it. Let's do some of that now on an F, nice and slowly. A 1, 2, and ready. Here we go. Step, ball change, and 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 what you see here is a box diagram, and I include that on so many of my chord charts. And my chord charts are available to my patrons, even at the $3 level, plus you get live sessions with me. So if you've got, like a cup of coffee, money to spare, come join us, because 2 sessions a month with me with question and answer. Yeah, all the chord charts, and then I have group lessons and more if you're interested in continuing your ukulele journey with me as your mentor. Here we go. Let's go through this. Each box represents one of the step, ball change, and step. So step, ball change, and 1, 2, ready, begin. That last, what I just did is I did a roll starting from my A string. And you just do it a little faster. Well, this information was all new to me, so I'm going to be depending on my notes a lot here. Well, Backyardigans, a show I never watched, was on Nickelodeon kids television program, and it was an animated musical TV show that went on for 4 seasons. It started in 2004 through 2009, and it last aired on 2013. So of course, you know, they had reruns and things like that. It was very well regarded. You had these animals that had adventures in their backyard, kind of that make-believe stuff. Did you do that? I did that as a kid, you know, the backyard or in my bedroom or whatever. It won 8 daytime Emmys, and the creator, Janice Burgess, won an Emmy for Outstanding Special Class Animated Program in 2008. The show would have continued, except for she went on to a different project. They put out CDs even, and so, you know, I didn't have kids in my household during that time, so yeah, I was kind of clueless as to these songs and everything. So I'm looking into, you know, what are some of these other songs? Do you have suggestions of other Backyardian songs? Because this is a good song. Well, you know, even if you're young, you can have nostalgia, right? And so the pandemic brought on a wave of nostalgia for young people at home, yearning for those good old days. And a TikToker, 19 years old, out of Miami, I do believe, and her name is Militia. I think that's how she says her name, Militia Pierre. And so she started posting videos on TikTok, a whole series of them, about songs that children today might not know. And that was from her childhood. And it started a viral sensation. And so not only Castaways, but other songs from the Backyardians started getting a lot of views. And then young people started doing their TikToks on it. So that's how Castaways got reintroduced to the public. So yay, thanks to Militia for doing that, because I would probably never learn this song otherwise. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Castaways, we are castaways. Ahoy there, ahoy, we are castaways. We're stuck where we are, with no house, no car. Castaways, ahoy, we are castaways. We were out at sea on a sailing ship. The rain began to rain and the wind began to wail. We left the ship till it was going down. So we launched our lifeboat so we wouldn't drown. Castaways, we are castaways. Ahoy there, ahoy, we are castaways. On an island at sea, just me and me. Castaways, ahoy, we are castaways. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Castaways, we are castaways. Ahoy there, ahoy, we are castaways. We're stuck where we are, with no house, no
going down. So we launched our lifeboat so we wouldn't drown. Castaways, we are castaways. Ahoy there, ahoy, we are castaways. On an island at sea, just me and me. Castaways, ahoy, we are castaways.
I hope that this tutorial and play along has brought you joy and confidence in your ukulele journey. I would like to thank all my patrons for their great feedback, song suggestions, community building, and your very important financial support for my teaching efforts. If you appreciate what I do and have a few dollars a month to spare, I encourage you to join our growing Patreon community. Don't forget to hit that like button before you go and keep spreading the ukulele love.